Okay, so this is some footage from EGX 2018. This is me and Mike playing head to head on Soul Calibur 6. So this was our first experience with the game. Thought I'd do some audio commentary over what we had in the video because you couldn't really hear us. So I'll try and do my best to explain what's going on. First of all, you see there on the right, Geralt is a new character. You may recognise him from The Witcher. Mike chose to play as him and I was playing as Maxi, one of my favourite characters. For those who don't know, I love Soul Calibur. I've enjoyed the series since first playing the Dreamcast game way back when. So, always enjoyed it. And every version I've liked, but I've never felt that any of them have been able to top Soul Calibur. However, you know, they're all very good. And this one, first of all, the thing I noticed, unfortunately, was some latency issues with the television. So once I got over that, though, the characters' moves were pretty similar, but there's all this flashy stuff you see going on, and that's me accidentally pressing start. But so it's options now, isn't it? There's a lot more flashy stuff going on in this, and it was a little bit difficult to know what was going on. And one of the things you might notice at the top there is you've got a mark on your health bar, so when your health goes below that, I think you get an extra move. That's just me talking to Neil about the latency. But so that was a new thing, but I never really activated that, I don't think, so I didn't know the button, because stupidly I didn't look at those controls. But otherwise everything is as you'd expect it to be. They haven't moved the kick and vertical slash or horizontal slash buttons around, and block is still X. And as you can see, I'm able to pull off some of the moves I know from Maxi. I don't think I can't recall them changing too much since the last version of Soul Calibur. Some people I've spoken to, actually one person in particular, had said they thought this was slower than maybe the last few Soul Calibur games. I don't know if that really stuck out to me personally. I did think it played very well though. But as you can see here, it's Soul Calibur, but there's other things going on. It will tell you down the left hand side of the screen when you're doing certain key things, like your combo score, if you activate any sort of special moves or anything like that. But that's a typical Maxi win pose. Okay, so we're moving into another round now, and it's loading the character selection screen. Of course, now not all characters are available here. I actually only had a go at a couple. I think Mike decided to stick with Geralt, and I was like, well, I want to go with Geralt now. So, yeah, here we go. So, lovely presentation, I think, in this version of Soul Calibur, and no problems with that whatsoever. And the backgrounds were nice, although there wasn't a lot going on in them, I didn't think. They did seem a little bit bare. Maybe they were just the ones we played on, I'm not sure. So yes, there's a lot of like, this happened a lot of the slow motion stuff. It just feels very dynamic, more dynamic than it's ever felt before. And I think the slow motion stuff was sort of like if you, like in Tekken 7, yeah, if you both go for a move at the same time at the end of the match, it will slow down and give you like a photo finish. It seems to do that mid-match in Soul Calibur 6, which looks really cool, makes it very exciting. So I don't think I have a problem with that. You could argue it slows down the gameplay a little bit, but maybe that's right. Maybe that's what people have been meaning by the game, is a little bit slower paced. It still seems pretty frantic to me, but in a good way. It's not a button basher, although Soul Calibur can be accessible in that way to people who are new to the game. But if you get two pros playing head to head, Soul Calibur is one of the purest, most enjoyable multiplayer experiences. I think there's definitely a lot more countering going on. I think countering has been made easier, and still not sure exactly how to do it in this version. Done it a fair bit in the Soul Calibur and the Dreamcast, But yeah, there's something called reverse edge. There's a lot going on. Break attack. I think that's to do with your armor. If you block too much, then your opponent is going to break down your armor eventually. So that's actually nothing new. That was in the last few Soul Calibur games. Certainly the last one. But I really enjoyed it. I like playing with a PlayStation controller. It's a nice controller. I'm sure the Xbox One's okay as well, because that's actually quite similar to the Dreamcast one, which is the controller I've used the most for playing Soul Calibur games. But it felt nice on the PS4. I did some sort of potion thing there. I'm not exactly sure how I did it, and that would be the biggest thing I take away from playing this. I didn't have enough time with it, and I didn't quite understand some of the things that were happening, or why they were happening at the time. That is a critical edge, so I knew what that was, and that's been made easier now. You just press the right trigger. Before you had to do a couple of quarter circles before pressing the equivalent button, because I played 5 on the Xbox 360. So that round went to Mike. Well done, Mike. Geralt was a fun character to play as. Perfect addition to the roster. Soul Calibur has now become known for having these exclusive characters. So initially selectable as an illustration, and then they turn to a 3D model when you select them. Or yeah, I think that's how it goes. Zaslamel, nice to see him back. Kalik looks great. Kalik looks like he should do. In Soul Calibur 5 they took a lot of the more popular or main characters of Soul Calibur and replaced them with sort of variations, like Taki wasn't Taki, she was another character, and Kalik was another character, and their moves were a little bit different. So I see they did that to shake it up a little bit, but it's nice to see some of these classic characters returning. Not sure if all the stages were available in this version we played at EGX either. But you can see there they've moved the bar which builds up your critical edge attack to the middle of the screen. That was of course on the other side in Soul Calibur 5. But I think the layout is pretty neat. Although maybe that was better at the far side of the screen rather than having it in the middle. I'm not sure about that yet. Again, need to spend a lot more time with this game. It's not very long till it's released actually. This game comes out on October the 19th. There we go, one of them really flashy, another one, flashy moments in game. Armor breaks as well. I think you'll see Zasamel's armor break at some point in this fight. I think Mike's done a critical edge there. What this pink thing floating around Kalik is, I don't know. I didn't quite pick up on that, whether I activated that or now he has a little fairy character floating around. Not 100% sure on that. But yeah, I was impressed with it. I'll be getting Soul Calibur 6 for sure, which I will probably say again at the end of this video. I did, yeah, and Mike seemed to enjoy it as well. There was nothing that was glaringly wrong with it. There were a lot of new things going on which I wasn't 100% familiar with, but those things will all come in time, I think. As you saw earlier, a lot of the characters weren't there, so I guess we'll have to wait and see. I'm not 100% sure if Talon was there or not, so Talon's actually going to be back in this version of Soul Calibur. So yeah, I really need to spend more time with it. We only had a day at EGX, so we couldn't spend all day playing Soul Calibur. We did do 3 matches as it was, and there was a queue forming behind us to play it, so you know, you have to give everybody a go. You can't just hog the Soul Calibur. I do hope they sorted out the latency. We should have mentioned it. I'm sure we probably weren't the first person to mention it, as there's got to be a lot of Soul Calibur fans, who were also experiencing some of those latency issues at EGX. But yeah, a nice finish. Is that second round to Mike? Yes. So final battle. Who's your money on? If if you're clever, you might not bet on me. Bet on Mike for this one. Just a little clue there. You can see my armor's flashing there, so I'm blocking a lot. That's going to break, and Zaslamel Mike is going to have a chance to attack. And he did something there, and I wasn't sure what it was, because that wasn't a critical edge. I don't think that I just did. There was. So I hope this video has gone some way to give you a little idea of what to expect when Soul Calibur 4, Soul Calibur 6 comes out. I think from the 28th of September you'll be able to play a demo version of the game. It's very flashy and the camera moves around a lot more than it used to, but it's good. It's just there's a lot of bells and whistles on this version, but it's fun. I'm getting it for sure. Okay, Mike, so how did you like Soul Calibur, Mike?
I thought it was more accessible. We were just saying that I think it was a bit more easy to pick up because you had the gauges where you could block with the special moves and the countering. So yeah, it's good, but more easier to play to begin with, I think. So it might be a bit harder to master through the long stage, but it's good.